Like, I want to make something clear, right? As a person who is kinky, as a person in the BDSM community, I am not going to yuck anybody's degradation kink, right? Whatever floats your boat. My issue, though, with this particular type of cross-dresser is that they cross-dress mostly because they want to be degraded. I think that's worth discussing because, unfortunately, I have seen many a heterosexual cross-dresser string along some poor girl who really didn't deserve it. I've seen that so many times. Like, I've known cross-dressers who they cheat on their girlfriends and they like use their girlfriend's clothing for meeting up with men, and they get off on that. They get off on the fact that they committed some taboo, right? Where they stole a piece of their girlfriend's clothing and then used it for a nefarious purpose, right? And they're getting off on that. They're getting off on the fact that happened. I'm not a fan of that. I am not a fan of that sort of stuff. All right, so that's how it ends. So yeah, I thought that this really perfectly laid out at least what I have observed amongst a lot of heterosexual male crossdressers. They're typically men who have a very particular idea of what men are supposed to do and what women are supposed to do within a relationship, and they like to cross-dress to play the role that they would like a woman to play in a relationship with them. And they often think that they are great at playing this role, maybe even better than a real woman, maybe even better than a transgender woman, right? This is how they think about it, not the way that I would think about it, right? View femininity as inherently degrading, and they view women as these people to be degraded, and that is a huge part of why they're practicing their kink. My estimation is that some of these men, if they had self-reflection on masculinity and what healthy masculinity could look like, I think a lot of these men can shift and change and grow in a more positive direction. Not all cross-dressers are misogynist. Not all cross-dressers cross-dress because they look at women and think of women as lowly, abused creatures. Not all people who enjoy degradation in feminine clothing are necessarily doing that because they hate being a woman, or they hate women, or they hate femininity. These nuances can exist, right? They often just need to recognize the wider range that we can be in, because a lot of these men, they really keep their life as men and their life as cross-dressers so separated that if any person crosses over in the address book, it's like an issue. It's a huge issue. And that's just not the way to live.